Hi, I'm Alex, and this is my journal jar. And let's see what topic we have for today. Let's see. How did you find out that you were to be a parent for the first time? Well, I've got actually three good stories. The time I first found out that I was pregnant, the time I first found out that I was pregnant with Sammy, and the time I first found out that I was pregnant with Esther. Um, so, being pregnant at all with me was a big deal. Um, I talked about my neurological condition before, but I also have what's called Turner syndrome, which is a genetic condition that probably caused the neurological condition. And it also causes a lot of hormone imbalances. So I wasn't supposed to be able to be pregnant. And yet, the very first time I was pregnant, I suspected, and I had done like the at-home like little stick test, but that didn't, that didn't convince me. I thought it may have been a mistake. So between the stick having a little plus on it and the doctor's appointment, I had told my mom and my grandparents, but I wasn't convinced quite yet until it was Christmas season, and the 24/7 Christmas songs started playing on the radio. And I love good Christmas music. I can't stand cheesy Christmas music. So it wasn't even the particular song that bothered me, but some cheesy song came on the radio, and I jokingly complained about it. Then my mom complained about it. Then I started going on this huge rant of like, well, at least it's better than Christmas shoes. I can't stand Christmas shoes. It wasn't even Christmas shoes that was playing on the radio. It was just some other cheesy song that dared to remind me of Christmas shoes. And I launch into this huge tirade of how much I hate Christmas shoes while some other cheesy song is playing. And then I just go into, and what's worse is the awful chorus. Like, that's the absolute worst. And I start mocking it like this. I'm like, oh, sir, I want to buy these shoes for my mama, please. And then I go on, and finally when it gets to the point, like, can you hurry, sir? Daddy says there's not much time. And then I start getting all verklempt. And and I get choked up when I'm like, she's been sick for quite a while, and then I start bawling, and I'm just like, oh, good grief, I am pregnant. If I'm crying at Christmas shoes, then I'm definitely pregnant. And my mother laughed. The best, hardest laugh I'd ever heard her laugh. It was glorious. Because growing up, my siblings and I always gave her such a hard time when she cried at anything. And she did. Like, she was really weepy and really just had those tears. Like, oh my goodness, it's so sweet. And then here I am, the very first time pregnant. And I just absolutely lose it. And so Mom finally got the revenge. And she, till the day she died, never, ever let me forget it. And so, like, whenever I continued to tease her over getting all verklempt, she's like, oh, yeah, like Christmas shoes. And, with Turner syndrome, I wasn't able that pregnancy wasn't viable, and that's a whole another story. But after that, I worked hard to realize, okay, I'm not supposed to be pregnant at all. What happened? What can I do to either, not have it doomed pregnancies, or if I do get pregnant, how can I, you know, see that pregnancy through and actually have a baby? So I was hard on my doctors, as I often am at certain times of my life. And finally, they 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 found what was going on with my ovaries. Like, instead of producing eggs normally, I was producing cysts. And this medicine was supposed to get rid of the cysts. However, it was a fertility drug. And I'm like, okay, well, that actually serves a dual purpose. It'll take care of what's going on there, and maybe I'll get pregnant this time, for realsies. And I waited. I'm just like, okay, I need to take it at a certain point in my cycle, so I was waiting for my next cycle to start so I could take it at the right time. And it never started. And it, like, a week late, 2 weeks late, I'm like, uh-oh, maybe I just missed my chance, and I'm already going through preterm ovarian failure, which is a common thing with Turner syndrome. And I'm waiting, and, like, I get really worried, so I go back to the doctor going, like, I haven't been able to take this medication because I haven't even started my cycle, and I'm really worried. And that was Sammy. That was when I found out that I was pregnant again. And so with the timing, we kind of felt like, okay, yeah, this is it. This is actually it. And sure enough, after a lot of hard times, he was my first successful pregnancy. He was my first survivor. And so that was when I found out that I was going to have Sammy. And then with Esther, Esther came, like, right at the finish line of my ability to have kids. And in fact, I had such a hard time with Sammy, I, used all kinds of protection. So that I could recover, I could heal. And, it took over 2 years for me to be like, okay, maybe I could do this again. And literally the day that I thought that, my husband pops up and says, hey, when are we going to have Esther? I mean, we both had felt like our family wasn't quite complete yet. And I knew that if I would have a girl, I would want to name her Esther. So I go back to the doctor. I'm just like, okay, I had a hard time. How do we have a healthy pregnancy? How, what can I do to, make this the healthiest pregnancy that I can? And so I had stopped the protection, and then I was ready to try. I figured it would take quite a while. But I never had a cycle. I was waiting and waiting and waiting for a cycle, and I thought I missed my chance again. I go back to the doctor. I'm just like, I don't think I'm pregnant again like this. But sure enough, there was Esther, my second survivor. And so that's when I knew that I was going to be a parent. And it's been a rough a rough time having them, but a really amazing time with them, and definitely worth every struggle. So Sammy, Esther, I love you. And Sammy is 9 now, and Esther is 6. And they're growing to be such amazing people. It's incredible. Esther is an amazing artist. I would love to show you some drawings here and there, along with these journals. And Sammy actually has his own YouTube channel. He likes to play video games, so I play video games with Sammy on his channel, and if you want to check that out, maybe I could put like a link up here or something. If not, it'll be down in the description. So when did you find out that you were going to be a parent? Or have you heard stories from your parents of how they found out they were having you? Let me know in the comments below, and if you have anything more for my journal jar, put that in the comments, and see you later.